Welcome back to Kingdom Craft, where we talk about theology while playing Minecraft. And today I have a big topic, and that is the 7 deadly sins. So, what are the 7 deadly sins? 7 deadly sins are kind of a Catholic, mainly Catholic idea of 7 deadly sins. You've probably heard them before. And that is, obviously, you have gluttony, lust, greed, and so a lot of people would be surprised to find out that these 7 deadly sins are not actually biblical. So they're actually created by Catholic tradition. The first kind of version of them was created in 345. Okay? The year 345. And so this is a lot longer after obviously the Bible was created. So they were first created by Evagrius of Pontus, right? In 345 to 339, we're not entirely sure. But these are actually not the exact same thing. These were actually a thing called the 8 evil things, or evil thoughts, is what he called them. So these things were gluttony, lust, greed, anger, sloth, pride, vainglory, and sadness. So vainglory and sadness, you might notice, are not in the original 7. And I'll get to that in a second. And basically, what happened here is this guy, right? This Catholic guy went, right, we're making 7 sins to be simple, that's right, that's fine. 7 evil thoughts is what he called them. But then his teachings were passed on, okay? So his teachings were passed on to Pope Gregory the First, okay? He lived in 590 CE. And he basically revised kind of the Evagrius of Pontus, kind of 8 evil thoughts. So he ended up adding envy. He combined sloth and sadness. He combined that. So then he made vainglory and pride. He combined those, and he also started calling it the 7 sins. Okay, so this is what we know it today. Okay, the regulars we know it today. So this is the history of the 7 sins. A lot of people don't know how they came to be because most people think they're biblical. They're not. They have biblical grounds. I'm not saying they're incorrect, but they're not biblical. Not lined up, man. They're not biblical at all. They're created by the Catholics, and I'll get to it in a second, where, in my opinion, the Catholics have used it to scare people with the whole purgatory thing that eventually was used to end up selling indulgences. So, okay, I've not done any work in this church so far. Oh my days, lazy bum. Right. Basically, the 7 sins that are not biblical were then used in this guy, Dante, I can't say his name right, Alan Perry, 1265 to 1321. He's used these 7 sins to draw up this whole map of the spiritual realm. It includes purgatory and includes all of this. But in purgatory, you had these things where there's steps. You had to get up, like, to reach out of purgatory. And so I'll tell you my thoughts on this in a second, because I don't really agree with this, but he used these 7 sins to kind of scare people with purgatory, with this whole, you have to do the steps up of purgatory, right? If you do these things, you have to spend a lot of time in purgatory. And I know this isn't technically grace by works, but it's bordering on it. So that was made, and then what I'm thinking is, like, I don't think we should be trying to find out what's in the spiritual realm and trying to, like, guess. Because we don't know. It's a mystery, right? We can know some things, but we can't know a whole map out of like, a couple descriptions from the Bible that are very vague. So, this whole idea of purgatory is kind of made up, in my opinion. I'm open-minded, but... And then, so it's used to scare people and to sell these indulgences. So, this is the history of the 7 sins. Now, the theology of them, I'm going to tell you about the theology too. The theology, there is in Proverbs, I was reading them the other day, there is in Proverbs or 7 things the Lord hates. If you look at that, it is not anywhere close to the 7th sin, alright? And it was originally 8 evil things, so it got changed to 7 for a round number. And I'm like, if we have this perfect 7 thing, like, how would it be changed multiple times? Like, so people treat this as, like, the word of God, and it can be helpful. I can admit it kind of can be helpful as a vague description. But when people treat it as if it's in the Bible, then we're almost fabricating something that doesn't actually exist. In my opinion, it's easy to do that. Easy to end up doing that. So, okay, I was wondering about this the whole time, the history of the 7th sins, and I couldn't find a video on it. I made a video on it, and I was like, alright, I'm gonna make a video on this too. So, there you go. That's kind of it. That's kind of it. It's a short video. I might have done this like an animation thing, like, you know, the redeems, like the, you know what I'm talking about. I decided not to because I don't know how to do that. But yeah, I don't know much more to say. Please subscribe. I only have 2, or no, I think I have like 3 now. Thank you. Please subscribe. But the 7 sins are not biblical, and they're used to scare people, and they're made up. They're true, but they're made up, and they can be misused. So remember, the 7 sins is not in the gospel. It's not in the Torah. It's not in the Bible. None of that. It is made up by church history, and it's made up in 590 CE, and the gospel was made up in like, I don't know, like 60. So yeah, just to clear that up, you can still think that they are good to follow and stuff, but just to clear that up, just so you know, a little bit of church history, just to clear that up, so you know. I'm low-key stretching this video on, so I'm gonna end this video. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Have a good one. God bless.